so for me, I believe in God's word. I believe the Bible. And from what I understand about Sicarii, y'all teach some things that are contrary to God's word. And so for me, I believe in God's word. I believe the Bible. And from what I understand about Sicarii, y'all teach some things that are contrary to God's word. So I came, for me, I'd rather just talk about people from afar. If I have the opportunity to come talk to somebody, then I'd rather take that opportunity. So I came, for me, I'd rather just talk about people from afar. If I have the opportunity to come talk to somebody, then I'd rather take that opportunity. So that's why I'm here. Yeah.
So what are some things you feel like Sicarii teaches that are contrary to the Bible?
Right, so when I look in the scriptures, it seems like God's word paints a real clear picture that one of the essential aspects of Israel is that there's supposed to be a light to the nations.
I agree.
Right. So God is very specific about what that means. So like, can I go to the text? Is that cool?
If you want to, that's fine. I'm saying we don't disagree. So if you want to go to it,
well, the next part you might. So that's why I want to be clear in terms of where I'm coming from. So like with Genesis chapter 12, verse 48 and 49, it says, "And when a stranger sojourns with you and wants to keep the Passover to the Lord, that all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as a native of the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat it. One law shall be for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among them." So if the strangers are non-Israelites, now again, this is Exodus chapter 12, when God is establishing the Passover. You have God saying that non-Israelites can be circumcised and then participate. Yeah, y'all can look it up. Check it. It says Exodus chapter 12, verse 48 and 49 is what I read. Exodus 12, 48, 49. So, what I present to you is this. In terms of Israel being a light to the nation, it seems clear that even going to the Old Covenant, God had provisions for non-Israelites to be circumcised and participate in the Passover. Now, the Passover that's covenant activity right there. God had provisions for non-Israelites to be circumcised and then participate in the Passover. Now, the Passover that's covenant activity right there. When it talks about draw near, you can look at James, when it's like where God says, "Draw near to me and I'll draw near to you." That's talking about worship. That's talking about engaging the Most High God in worship in His presence. So you have non-Israelites being circumcised and engaging in the Passover, which is covenant activity, along with natural-born Israelites. So obviously they're part of the covenant at that point. I can refer to other scriptures as well. But nevertheless, if you guys are teaching that Gentiles can't be saved, or if they can't be saved, there's some sort of sub-status, or white people can't be saved, whatever, that's contrary to the very central mission of Israel in terms of being the light to the nation. So without presuming where you're coming from, I'm trying to wonder, what are your thoughts on that? It seems to me like Gentiles can be saved. So I know how y'all, without presuming where you're coming from, I'm trying to wonder, what are your thoughts on that? It seems to me like Gentiles can be saved. So I know how y'all feel about the New Testament and Paul and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not even going there. I'm starting with the Old Covenant and just establishing that it's clear that non-Israelites can enter into the covenant of God along with God's chosen people. So
Currently still feel as though Israel is supposed to or going to be a light to the nations.
I believe that's ultimately fulfilled through Christ. So obviously Jesus is the light of the world.
So that's already done. Like we don't even have to worry.
Jesus is eternal. So he's still.
No. I understand what you're saying. I'm saying you established in the Old Covenant, right, that Israel was supposed to be a light unto the nations. You're saying that that's not necessarily the case for the entire body. That's just simply fulfilled through an Israelite that is Christ. Now he's the light.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Let me clarify.
Okay, clarify that.
So what I'm saying, in terms of Israel being a light to the nations, they were assigned with certain laws and things that distinguish them from the other nations, and they're supposed to be exemplify His goodness and so on and so forth. To be a light.
And I'm saying, is that now fulfilled in just Christ?
So what I'm saying is, we can look in God's word, and we still have the testimony of what they were supposed to do right here in God's word. We can refer to that. In addition to that, we also have
to be fulfilled now. Is what I'm asking.
I know. I'm trying to get there. But in addition to that, we also have Christ, who is an eternal witness of the fulfillment of what Israel was supposed to be doing. So now today, any Israelite, if they're functioning properly as a light to the nation, then what they should be doing is preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. So being a light to the nation, not just being an example. What they should be doing is preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, which includes Israel being a light to the nation, not just in terms of being an example, but going all the way through. When you deal with Galatians chapter 3, it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, and so on and so forth. There's no ethnic limitation in terms of who can be saved. And anybody who says that there is not being a light to the nations as according to the example set by the original laws and Israelites, Jesus Christ, and the fullness of His word. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm gonna show show you where we disagree. I heard exactly where you come from. Where we disagree. I heard exactly where you come from. I agree. I feel like when we failed, and I say we, the Israelites, I feel like when they failed to fulfill that standard or that demand, that they were then put in subjection to other people. They could, which at that point they could no longer be light. Which at that point they could no longer be light. They no longer shed light and be the example because you can't shed light and be the example because you can't shed light and be the example because you